We're Charlie and Leanne, a couple from California who left our cushy suburban life to spend the next several years cruising around the Pacific Ocean on our boat, Juliet. And our little dog, too.
Hi everyone. As you can see, we're not currently on the boat, but we just wanted to check in and let everyone know what's going on with us.
Due to the coronavirus situation, we decided to take a respite from Mexico. After a month in the Sea of Cortez, we returned to La Paz and learned that Mexico was lagging the U.S. in terms of infections. They had just implemented restrictions that were making life in the marina difficult for us. That and the rising temperatures and limited medical resources in Mexico led to us deciding to return to California until things improve.
Fortunately, we have some amazing and generous relatives who helped us get back here safely. And we are now isolating in Irvine, house sitting for a relative. We don't know what our next steps are. Like so many of you, we're just kind of waiting and seeing what's going to happen. But our plan is to return to Juliet in La Paz once infection rates drop and when restrictions are relaxed.
In the meantime, we still have a lot of great footage from our month cruising in the Sea of Cortez. In this video, we pick up where we left off from Puerto Escondido. We hope you enjoy it.
Stay safe, everyone.
In our last episode, we enjoyed the eye-popping scenery at Puerto Escondido, took a road trip to San Javier and Loreto, and did yoga at the marina. In this episode, we head for points north, exploring a couple of the many picturesque uninhabited islands in the Sea of Cortez. We have movie night aboard Juliet, and then some of my best snorkeling footage yet. After enjoying the modern comforts and conveniences of Puerto Escondido, it was time for us to head back to a life on the hook. We were headed for a tiny cove called Puerto Balandra on Isla Carmen. So with Barbara and Brian on red shoes just ahead of us, we set sail out of the harbor. Our friends Susan and Stephen on Tranquila, who had been buddy boating with us up to this point, decided to stick around in Puerto Escondido. In fact, they loved it there so much, they've decided to make it their home base.
So we're taking a short trip from Puerto Escondido over to one of the bigger local islands called Isla Carmen. And we're going to an anchorage called Puerto Balandra, which is a nice little semicircular cove, another one of these little craters, what looks like a little crater. Should be really nice. It's supposed to have a nice beach, good wind protection from the north and the east and the south. What's interesting about these islands, if you can see them off the side here, is that they look very similar to the Channel Islands where we live. We've got very rocky, some green and brown shrub, no trees really, but they're really interesting looking, a lot of little coves, and we're going to go check out Puerto Balandra. We may check out a different cove tomorrow, and then after about 2 days we'll head back to Puerto Escondido, refuel, and then we'll start our return trip back to La Paz.
The winds were not in our favor this day, so we were motoring, but that didn't detract from the pleasure of cruising in this always scenic area.
Approaching Puerto Balandra now. We just saw red shoes make their turn. This is a difficult anchorage to find because it's not obvious. The entrance is not obvious, but it looks like it's between those two conical shaped rocks, and we're able to find these kinds of things because we've got a great GPS, the charts on the GPS that show us where everything is. But there it is. There goes red shoes heading in. We'll be there right after them.
It's always exciting to pull into a new anchorage. We never know what special treats are in store for us. Puerto Balandra turned out to have fantastic beach combing. The sheer number of perfect shells was mind-boggling. We literally spent hours just minching along the sand, finding one perfect shell after another, marveling at the artistry of nature and sea.
Someone did a lot of work collecting shells.
Oh yeah, look at that.
This one doesn't is a little weathered.
Weathered is good. I'm a little weathered.
Isla Carmen is the largest of all the islands in the Loreto Bay Marine Park. It's one of the few privately owned islands in the Sea of Cortez. Puerto Balandra is the most protected anchorage on the island. In addition to the gorgeous beach, it also has some great hiking to some natural salt ponds in the interior of the island. Once we'd hiked up the hill a bit, we could really see the circular shape of the cove, showing its volcanic origins. Looks like we're not the only humans who've enjoyed this island. Yes, another sunset. We show a lot of sunsets because seriously, the sunsets are one of the best parts of the Sea of Cortez. I've seen a lot of gorgeous sunsets in various parts of the world, but none of them have matched the ones we see here.
Here's a point off Puerto Balandra on Isla Carmen. Leanne is diving down there off the point along with Barbara from Red Shoes. This is just a nice little point off where we anchored. It's got some nice rock and reef structure. So there's a lot of fish over on this rocky point.
It seems each time I go snorkeling in the Sea of Cortez is better than the last. The amount and variety of fish here was even better than Los Gatos. And with the sun shining and dappling in the reef, it made for a truly lovely experience.
So today we're going from Puerto Balandra on Isla Carmen to Honeymoon Cove on Isla de Zante, which is just off of Puerto Escondido. And the forecast for today was pretty clear and light wind, but we're lucky we have about 13 knots of wind coming from the north behind us, So we're actually able to sail to our destination, which is almost due south. We're just using the head sail, the jib. If I pull out the main, it'll blanket the jib, and I don't want to deal with a pole with wing and wing. But with just the jib, we're sailing along at 4.6 knots, which is a very comfortable speed. There's really no swell, just some small wind waves, so it's a very pleasant sail down, and it will take us, 2.5, 3 hours to get there. So it should be a nice day. We'll pull into this Honeymoon Cove. It's a very small cove, and hopefully there'll be room for us. Otherwise, we'll have to find someplace else. But that's our plan, and we're having a good time. So what are you doing there?
I'm processing the video that I took when I was snorkeling today at Puerto Balandra.
So you're hard at work?
Yes, I'm hard at work to entertain the masses, the huge masses of our audience.
Oh, we have a nice sail, downwind. Where are we going?
We are going to Honeymoon Cove. By the way, it was cold today. I'm really glad I put on my wetsuit because I would not have been able to do this without the wetsuit. It was colder than it was at Los Gatos.
And how cold was it exactly? The water?
69 degrees.
Yeah, 70 really. 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, but it felt colder and the air was colder. It was colder today than it was at Los Gatos.
All right.
I think I got a spout. I just started and I think I got a spout. Yep, there's a spout. I got it. Wow. Wish they were a little closer. Oh, there's a spout. Finally, Charlie's been seeing all the whales, and every time he tells me, by the time I get up with the camera, I miss them. This time, finally, I'm seeing them. Woohoo! I see only two, and they're big. I mean, these are definitely blue whales. Those spouts are going up high. Oh, cool. Right next to each other. Oh, look at that. You can see his fin now. Wondering if we'll see a tail shortly. Oh, that's a big whale. Oh, and there's his fin. Honeymoon Cove turned out to be one of the most physically appealing anchorages we'd seen yet. The sheer cliffs, the colorful rocks, the stark landscape, another gorgeous evening sitting in the cockpit marveling over how lucky we are to be able to experience this beauty.
This is movie night on Juliet while at anchor. No internet. So Leanne downloaded some things on a Kindle. We'll watch the Kindle and have some popcorn, maybe some beer. And,
Maybe.
Bubba likes to partake in popcorn as well. So this is a family night, and I think we're watching Narco Mexico.
Honeymoon Cove has 3 lobes where you can drop anchor, all very small with room for only a few boats. Anchoring was tricky here as it's deep right up to the shore. We picked the middle lobe as there was already a boat in the north lobe, and it seemed we'd get the best protection from the swells that are known to sometimes roll in here. Once we got to shore, we were able to take in the full view of our little protected cove. The sun was out, the water was calm and clear, time to snorkel. We dinghied over to the north lobe and found a perfect snorkeling reef.
There's people on the beach over there with their kayaks and a tent.
This is Leanne snorkeling off Honeymoon Cove. This is the north lobe. It's got a lot of nice rock and reef structure. It's also a beautiful beach. Some campers.
It was warmer today, so I went in without a wetsuit, which means I'm not so buoyant and I'm able to hold myself underwater to get better shots.
This is Bubba waiting for Leanne to finish snorkeling. Not sure what kind of crabs these are.
If you thought the snorkeling was good at the last spot, wait till you see this. Ready to see what I was seeing? Enjoy, and be sure to stick around to the end. There goes Red Shoes weighing anchor, heading back over to Puerto Escondido. It was time to head back to civilization. Red Shoes took off first, and we were not long behind them. We were sad to say goodbye to this place. Living life on the hook is proving to be everything we've dreamed of and more. Fortunately, our time in the Sea of Cortez was not yet over. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to click like and subscribe.